In this video, I will be looking into the Terror in the Deep expansion. This is the Nameless expansion for Star Saga. Let's crack it open. Alrighty, folks, this is the Terror in the Deep expansion. Let's crack it open and see what goodies await us. Okay. So, oh, it already popped out. So, first off, we are going to see some new tiles, which are very creepy indeed, very tentacly, very Cthulhu-y. And then on the backside, a little less tentacly, a little less Cthulhu-y. So that's kind of neat. Different things. I'm sure they come up in the missions themselves, whether it's infested or not. But those are the tiles. A couple extra darkness counters, which, I mean, I feel like we already have a bunch, but this is Terror in the Deep, so I guess it's pretty dark down there. We got some new Merc cards. Ooh, yeah. Love me some Merc cards. So basically, for my next campaign that I do, because I just finished Iris, I want to just lay out all the new mercenaries and then figure out which I want to use, because there's a whole lot of them. So I'm really excited because I love the Matsudan and Dreadball, and I think it's awesome. So this guy is the Matsudan, and then you have the two bosses, and then this guy's an Starion. He's an awesome bird, which we will look at the models in just a second. So these are the cards. You have the minions, and then some new event cards, / Nexus cards in here. The minions are going to be all the Nameless, so we will break into those as well. And then we have the expanded mission bonuses, the loot, the new skills you can learn, that kind of stuff. There's so much here to unpack. I'm sure that just the amount of Star Saga I have, man, it's going to take a very long time to play through it all, but I do hope to, because I really enjoyed the Iris contract stuff. So let's bust into the models, what everybody's actually here for, because, yeah. Oh, hold on. More tiles, okay, that's helpful. So a bunch more tiles, clean and dirty versions. I'm going to call them clean and dirty because Nameless look kind of, gross. And then here is the mission book. It's kind of got the same vibe as all the other ones, so it shows you the contents inside. And then all the missions, all the story. I hope the story is as good as the Iris one, because I really enjoyed that. Yeah, man, I'm excited. So I'm not sure which campaign I'm going to be playing, so maybe I'll have a Facebook vote or something on it, because I really don't know, because they all sound cool. So let's go into the minions, and we'll continue from there. So let's check out some Nameless Gribblies and a couple heroes. Here are the minions for Terror in the Deep, the Nameless. I know it's old news now because of the summer campaign and the retail release, but this is new to me, and so we're going to cover them like anyone else. Yeah, I've been really excited about the Nameless, and I was actually patient, and which is surprising because I'm usually not, but I was this time because I knew I had a boatload of Nameless coming. And I'm glad I waited, because this is quite a few models. So I have quite a few packages of these. Let's start it off. This is the Inker. So the Inker, I know in Dead Zone, can pop a smoke cloud, and it's a real pain in the butt. Great support model. Cheap, small, really cool. This is the Scuttler. So the Scuttlers are just fantastic. I love that model. I love the way it looks. Just a really cool creature design, somewhere in between like a spider and a crab and a whatever else, just freaky alien guy. Then we have the Assassin. So the Assassin is a super great model in Dead Zone. He's stealthy and fast and furious. Cool claws, classic Nameless face with like the Cthulhu-y tentacles coming out. We have the Gunslinger. You will notice that these guys do have some mold lines, so that will definitely take a little bit of cleaning up, but it doesn't look like anything too intense. Yeah, this is the Gunslinger. Not the most impressive for Dead Zone. I'm sure he works better in Star Saga because he's in close quarters, and I love that model. Just the look of him, he just looks super rad, and what's not awesome about a pistolero alien? Exactly, nothing. Next up is the Rifleman. So the Rifleman is one of my favorite concept arts, and I'm happy to report that the miniature looks just as good. Like all the other Nameless guys, well, like all the other Star Saga expansions, this isn't the absolute highest model quality, but I think it's perfectly functional for Star Saga, and I'm sure once you start painting it up, you can start picking out a lot of details in Dreadphazone. And finally, we have Big Mamba. This is the Ogre. So the Ogre is my other favorite concept art because, look at him, come on. What's not to love? Giant crab shell guy, just crazy high defense, hits like a freight train. He looks big, he looks intimidating, and he's a chunky model. Like, you know, this guy, it's like one giant solid piece, and that carapace is just wicked. I love the look of it. And like you can see the light kind of bouncing off of it, those are all just details. So I'm sure a dry brush on this guy will go miles. Like, it'll just bring out so much detail on him. And then a really cool looking set of eyeballs on him, and oh goodness, I'm so excited. I'm so happy I finally have the Nameless in my hand, because it's been a torturous summer of seeing everybody play with their Nameless, and I'm just sitting there patiently, not so patiently, waiting. So these are the minions for the Terror in the Deep expansion / Dreadphazone. So gotta love me some Nameless. Let's see the bosses and the mercs. Starting off with the Terror. So the Terror is a boss in Star Saga, but he's only a specialist choice in Dreadphazone. Not my favorite model, I'm not gonna lie. I like the idea of him. I like how stealthy he is, both in rules and in most of his look. I don't know, just something about him doesn't quite do it for me. Maybe it's just the head. I feel like a head swap on this guy might go a long way, so I don't know. Maybe I'll play with him and figure out something I like a little bit more. I don't know exactly what it is about him that I don't love, but there's something about him. I don't know. Next up we have the Blight, and this is quite the opposite scenario. What's not to love about this guy? He looks big, he looks menacing, he's pissed off, he spits acid. Yeah, another nice chunky boss. He looks like he's going to be a real pain to deal with. And something I haven't really seen from him is the detail on the tail. Most things that I've seen that kind of review this guy or show him off usually focus on kind of the frontal image of him. But I think the back looks equally as cool. You can see like little details on the armor, like little ventilation or whatever those are. Really neat. Yeah, I really think he's going to be a cool boss, and he's obviously great in Dreadphazone. So, good stuff there. This is Sohin, an Starion. Also, he's got a sweet pet bird. It's just called a Starion Warbird, so I guess we get to name it. But that's really cool. I like the bird on his arm. It just takes him over the top for me. I think he's a really cool looking model. Would be an amazing Kalishi dervish, or yeah, I think that's what they're called. Yeah. A Kalishi leader, he would just be an awesome model to use for that. And he's got the punk rock mohawk and everything. But then the bird is just awesome. He just adds so much. I'm definitely going to have to hot water him because his staff is bent from here to hell, but, you know, whatever. And lastly, we have potentially my favorite merc. I don't know. I love Matsudon so much. So this is a Matsudon merc. His name is Otasora. Just, what's not to love? It's a samurai sumo lizard holding a massive gun. Gosh, it's so great. What's not to love about that? Yeah, just big, chunky, looks like the Dreadball guys, but obviously not. He looks more war ready than the Dreadball guys, but I am actually working on some rules for Dreadzone Matsudon because I love the race so much. But yeah, that is the heroes and I guess the mercs and the bosses for the Terror in the Deep. But there's one more thing that comes in that expansion. Well, a bonus expansion. And I think it's just a little something that might wow everybody. Oh baby, this is the biggest, baddest thing we have seen possibly in the entire Warpath universe so far. This here is the Goliath. the one, the only, absolutely massive miniature. Holy cow. Giant one-piece thing. He's like, he feels like he's almost a pound of just plastic. He's just a giant chunk of awesome. Yeah, another one, just kind of like the Ogre, where I feel like if you start dry brushing this guy, you're gonna find tons of hidden detail and little bumps and grooves and just more detail than you might let on, because, oh my goodness. I can see why they made a whole expansion where you have to find him chunk by chunk, because he's insane. He's huge. Online, I don't know, it doesn't quite do it justice. Like, when you see this in person, I think it's just a lot bigger, but also more clear than I thought it would be, which is very good. That's high praise. That's a good thing. I love the face. At first I was a little bit skeptical about it, but now seeing it in person, I'm sold. Looks great to me. Super massive, fairly static pose, but if he was any more dynamic, he wouldn't fit in anything at all, and he would get shot at from across the board all the time, rather than, you know, just almost all the time. But yeah, that is the Goliath, the main man, the dude. Oh my goodness, what a massive model. Let me get an aberration just so I can show you the size difference, because I don't know if it comes across on camera, because it definitely comes across in person. Like, that's my fist, and it's like the same size. So let me get an aberration for you just to show them off. So that there is a size 4 model. That's an aberration standing next to this guy. And yeah, it's not that he looks small, but he kind of looks small in comparison. Yeah, can't wait to paint him up, because damn. Yeah, so I'm really excited about the Nameless. I've been excited about the Nameless since the summer, and that has not changed at all, because look at them. It's just super cool. That's the size comparison for you. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about him. Just an incredible hunk of plastic.